Because you're making light of.
No, I'm not.
You're making light
I
of
haven't
the
gotten into my points.
enslavement
I'm not
of
making
people that look like us. You can't make light of that. That ain't nothing
I
you
haven't
breeze
even
over.
finished the sentence. How am I making
You
light of
started
anything?
with some bullshit.
Okay.
An ADOS dude, there was an ADOS dude named Bill something, Bill the Icon.
Bring up all the dirty laundry.
So recently, Candace Owens sat down with DJ Akademiks on his own podcast, and she had a very frank discussion about the rapper T.I., and this was in regards to the panel they sat on a couple of years back that Revolt had sponsored, and it was a very tense back and forth between T.I. and Candace Owens. But in this clip, Candace Owens gives us some background on her relationship with T.I. and why she was very surprised at the way he responded to her at the conference. But enough from me. Get down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Smash the like button on this video. Help me get in the algorithm. Share this video out to your social media. And if this is your first time on the channel, go ahead and subscribe. It's your man Online Bill Money signing off.
And I remember I saw the clip way before I saw the whole thing. And it was just like, it was framed like, yo, T.I. checks, just checks Candace Owens because she was talking crazy. And really, it wasn't until I watched the whole thing, I was like, to be honest, it was really two people on that stage making any sense. Right? It was you and Clear.
Me and Killer Mike. Right.
And
that's the whole thing. They don't want black people to see the whole thing. They look for these stupid cultural moments like, oh, that's it. That's all we need is that 5 seconds, because God forbid Black America hears what everybody in that room heard, by the way. When that panel concluded, so many people came up to me in the audience and were like, I've never heard you in full form. Why don't you do more stuff like this? Why don't I actually agree with a lot of what you were saying, because when you hear me in a longer form, then you go, oh, okay, actually I realize that the media keeps excerpting her and making her sound this way or that way. But why are they doing that is the bigger question. Why didn't they let that run in its entirety? Why weren't the headlines like Killer Mike and Candace, have an incredible discussion about Black America, father absence, and all of these topics? Why did we let this fool, who is the biggest, he is such a fraud. T.I. is just, I was just telling you before we started running, but that situation got me so angry because T.I. was the only person that I knew prior to stepping onto that stage. Kanye had introduced us maybe the year prior. We had spoken on the phone for a lot of like hours on the phone about what our opinions are politically.
Felt like he was trying to dunk on you.
It was crazy because when I spoke to him on the phone, he was like, I agree with you on this. I agree with you on this. And agreed on everything we talked about.
No debate.
No debate.
No pushback.
The only thing he says is like, I just can't get behind Trump, right? That was the only thing he ever said on the phone. I can't get behind Trump. Every other topic we talked about Black America, he agreed with. He was so kind. We got on stage and he turned into like a performer. Like he literally put on a performer. So I say now, T.I. is a fraud. He's a very little man. Physically and mentally he's a small man, because to do that for what? There was nothing but in that room. I was not jumping on stage being like, vote for Trump, right? I was not up there like, you got to be with Trump or against Trump.
For
Trump or no?
Do I with Trump? Now? Hell yeah.
Oh man, what made you with him?
Trump is a gangster.
We were having a very real, honest discussion that Black America deserved to have on that stage, right? That they deserved to listen to and develop opinions, and he halted it by acting like a goon.
Do you feel like you guys were like, I don't know, friends might be a stretch, but like if you guys were talking before, because I felt like he just met you that day.
Yeah.
And also, I really felt like he just completely hated everything you said.
Yeah, and he's a liar. He's a fraud and a liar. So, whenever I see headlines now about him and all the personal stuff he has going on, I'm like, I don't doubt anything, because anybody that can move like that, because to me, I don't care what your position is. If you are left and you believe what you say, I respect you for believing it, even if I disagree. He gets out there and says what he doesn't believe, right? And tries to create a moment, and he literally just became a performer on stage. Like, what does the crowd want? How can I get the crowd hyped up, even if I have to say stuff that I don't believe?
And I appreciate y'all because you make me the absolute best.
That is so toxic for the Black community. That is so toxic.
I think that was also around the time where there was many things that, I don't know if it's still happening now, but it was definitely shown in the media a lot, where, incidents with like, you know, black men and like the police were happening, like I would always see like a long caption that T.I. would just write out, and I was like, oh wow, like I think he's very interested at least in some of the political ramification of what's happening in the black community. So I'm like, all right, maybe that's where he was angling to. I
place where people like me, Killer Mike, other artists, creatives, other people who come from our culture, and other people who rise up out of the wreckage of the struggle that we all experience just by being born a certain color in this country. But Atlanta is a place where we can set an example of prosperity, and we've done that for generations. People like Dr. King, Maynard Jackson, Ambassador Young have paved the way for us. When everything else goes away, when you don't get treated right in New York, when you don't get treated right in LA, when you can't get treated right in Detroit, when you don't get treated right in St. Louis, when you don't get treated right in Alabama, Atlanta has been here for us. This city don't deserve it. However, I understand that a lot of others do. But we can't do this here. This is Wakanda. It's sacred. It must be protected.
I think, and it's been so interesting watching so many of those people who seemingly was trying to fight that fight. Now they've completely pivoted.
Right.
You know, like he's doing comedy now. You know,
Yeah. Well,
not saying doesn't.
He's a joke. I mean, like he should be doing comedy. That is the correct space for him because you're a joke. If you could spend hours and hours having a conversation, like it just I don't understand
Did you ever
people
talk
that
to him again?
No,
Yes,
because I don't.
He seems like a cool guy.
He's not though. That's what I'm saying to you. He was a cool guy when I spoke to him and there were no cameras running. But if you're that inauthentic and that's how you live your life, I don't know how you sleep. You know what I mean? On the other hand, I didn't know Killer Mike from a hole in the wall. He has been the most authentic kind. Like we respectfully disagree on certain circumstances. He's so intelligent. We read all the same books. You know, you will see him putting out different ideas. There are things I disagree with, but I can't not love Killer Mike. Like Killer Mike, honestly.
Now, at a hold
single-
on, hold on.
hold on, I wanna finish
no,
this.
No, this is on your behalf. At a certain point, we can't be hoes. At a certain point, these are black men and women, and in particular, these are black women. Like on some real G. It doesn't matter how you feel about her personally. Everything she has just said, Louis Farrakhan said for the last 25 years. So with no, and I don't know if she's a fan of Farrakhan. I know me and Tamika are. Bam. But you cannot take the truth and be mad at who tells it to you. So just chill, bruh. Shut the f*** up. Let her say it and receive the information. That's it.
Honestly, I wish I could work with him in a bigger capacity because I think that he is just the way he lives his life. It's positivity, it's love. He's got friends from all over and he's authentic, and that's what matters most, is authenticity. The black community is regularly being served the TIs. That's the problem. The TIs who will get out and say whatever to you when a microphone is in their face, knowing fully well they don't live that way and they don't believe that.
Yeah. I think T.I. has good intentions. I would hope. You know, from what you're describing there, no. From what you're describing there, I mean, like, I would be, if me and you communicated privately and like we talked about some of the same, you know, ideologies that either we might share or mine, and you're like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I get it. And then we get on stage.
And then I get up here and I'm like, yo, what you talking about, man?
Like, yo,
Me four. Only one he never shut the fuck up on Yo.
Like, yo, you a sellout.
Yeah,
like, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we just agreed.
We've been talking for months, yeah.
So you never talked to him after that?
No, I have such disdain for little men. I really do. And I'm not, I mean, like, he's a small man to me. Like, there's something, like, as a man, you don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll just be like, no, I disagree with that. He literally got up and pretended like he had never heard these words before. They didn't know where I was coming from. I mean, it was wild.
I thought that would have put you off of a lot of conversations that would include and just be directed towards black culture, because a lot of it does happen to be performative.
It
like,
is.
If I'm having a conversation with someone, and I've done this on the podcast before, and I'm like, you know what? I'm actually thinking about, like, if the election was today, I might vote Trump, and it's like performative stuff happened. yo, you will sell. Like the conversation just stops. It's not like, okay, let's really talk through this. It just stops.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Towing the line.
Yeah.
Towing the line because they're scared to lose followers. They're scared to be trashed in the comments. They're scared to lose a platform. You know, where do I go from here if I have an original thought? I just got to toe the line. That, what you're seeing is cowardice.
Has that ever been a situation for you where you're like, you know, we've seen in some situations Twitter has silenced people or got them off the platform. They've been deplatformed.
So yeah, there you have it. I thought it was a very interesting conversation about the topic, about the events that transpired at the Revolt conference between T.I. and Candace Owens. The dynamic that was struck on the telephone call as opposed to the performative dynamic that was struck during the conference, you know, just lets me know that our celebrity class are pretty much bought and sold, most of them to the Democratic Party politically. You know, Candace, a staunch conservative, Republican, who often has some very lucid takes on our current political situation, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes she goes off the deep end, but as they always say, you know, a broke clock is right at least twice a day. I could really get into a more nuanced breakdown of the discussion. One interesting point in the discussion is that both DJ Akademiks and Candace Owens are both immigrants. I know Candace Owens is from the Virgin Islands, and I believe DJ Akademiks is Jamaican. So it's always interesting to see what their takes might be. Again, Candace Owens is right sometimes, and you know, you have to get past the messenger and just take what you can from the message sometimes. Leave your emotions to the side if you can. But again, that's my take. And yeah, I did intersperse some texts, some takes from T.I. on various topics, various incidents, just to add some context. Hope you enjoyed it. Hop down in the comment section, let me know what you think. Smash like on this video, and subscribe to the channel. It's your man online, Bill Money, signing off for Dirty Laundry Media. I'll see you on the other side.